The crypto sector is trying to build a new decentralized financial system, but in many ways, much of the core infrastructure is still tied to the traditional financial system. Today, The Information published a story with another data point to that effect, focused on stablecoins. I want to bring on Yueqi Yang, our crypto reporter, to tell us more about what she's learned. Yueqi, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here.
Hey, Akash.
So in your piece today, you focus on this bank, Lead Bank. Tell us about Lead Bank. It's not one that I've heard of. Why should we be focused on them?
Lead Bank has emerged as the most important banking providers for the stablecoin payment industry in the past 2 years. Most of the most popular stablecoin startups that you might have heard of, such as Bridge, which was acquired by Stripe this year, rely on Lead Bank to provide their services. And as you mentioned, it's not a household name, but Lead Bank is very important for the sector, which is why we took a deeper look into the services that it provides, but also some of the changes that it's imposing. And I will mention that Lead Bank is a community bank based in Kansas City. It is a small bank. It has about $2 billion in assets.
Right. Now, when you say the services that it provides to companies issuing stablecoins, what exactly are these services?
The most important service is to provide bank accounts for the end users of stablecoins. Oftentimes, these are people and businesses in emerging markets such as Argentina, Mexico, where they're hoping to receive US dollar for remittances or for their salary from their employers outside of their own country, so that they can get the US dollar, store their wealth in US dollar currency. And there's this whole group of stablecoin startups that have popped up to serve this need for these users. And they do need a bank in the middle of this because a way for them to receive the US dollar.
So I didn't realize this, and maybe I've just been missing it, but if I wanted to pay for something with USDC or with any stablecoin, I mean, if I go about buying USDC, I in the back end, there will be a bank account that is opened for me, essentially holding the reserves, or I mean, what is being held in that bank account?
Yeah,
Bank account.
the bank account essentially provides you a way to on-ramp and off-ramp between the real economy and the stablecoin crypto world, and
Okay.
that bank account is needed. For example, there are U.S. companies that are paying overseas suppliers and employees using U.S. dollar, and these stablecoin startups will convert that U.S. dollar from this bank account into stablecoins, so that send it across border in a faster and cheaper way.
Okay. So now what are the changes that Lead Bank is making now, according to your reporting?
In the past few months, we have find out signs that Lead Bank is tightening its risk control when it comes to its services for stablecoin startups, and specifically is increasing restrictions for certain countries and sectors where it would accept clients from. And we also come across signs where it's taking longer for the banks to review transactions, and this is because they need time to verify the source of funding and to strengthen their confidence in the identity of the account holders that are making use of their bank accounts.
So, based on your reporting here, it sounds like there are some technical challenges that have led to it tightening its regulations. Are there broader reasons why the company is taking sort of a tighter approach to how it works with stablecoins?
Um, yes, for a bank to be able to serve stablecoin startups, especially the ones that are having a lot of users in a wide range of countries, this is always a high risk line of business because it brings your compliance team a greater challenge when it comes to monitoring the risk across layers of vendors and also verifying the source of fund. Um,
Hmm.
this it is a reason why a lot of the other banks are reluctant to get into this business, which is much needed for all these stablecoin startups that have popped up this year after the passage of Genius Law. And that's why it gives room for lead bank to play such an outsized role, but it also requires lead bank to have a strong compliance process that allows them to monitor these risks properly.
Right. And so, Yueqi, for people reading the story, it's a story that is somewhat in the weeds in terms of how these stable coins work in the background. At a really high level, why should people be paying attention to this? Is this a signal for what's to come with stable coins? Could they at all be become more restricted if these banks decide that they don't want to work with stable coins? How are you thinking about that?
I think given that so many people are paying attention to stablecoins this year, it is important for them to understand where the risk for the broader stablecoin sector might be emerging and who are some of the biggest players that are serving outsized roles in this market. And that's why we highlighted lead bank.
Right.
And any changes that lead bank make will have ripple effect across a long list of stablecoin providers.
Right. And as you say, I mean, Lead Bank is not the only bank, but it's still a small number of banks that are supporting this type of work. So it's certainly a bit of a bottleneck, it sounds like, in terms of how stablecoins will grow in the future. Yueqi, thank you so much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to having you back again soon.